This time I'm sharing something that I made in my biology class. So we were asked to make a cell model, and I chose to do a Lego cell model. This is a plant cell, and this red part is just the cytoplasm. That's what all the parts are suspended in. This thin blue area is the plasma membrane, which is in between the cytoplasm and the cell wall. And this pink is the cell wall, which is like the protective barrier. And then this is the middle lamella, which is technically not part of the cell itself, but it goes in between plant cells that are right next to each other. So if I had two cells, it would be right in between the cell walls. This is the nucleus. So this whole part is the nucleus. And inside of it is the nucleolus. And there are little bits of chromatin, which are like clusters of DNA. Then this is the nuclear membrane, this darker blue on the outside. And right outside of the nucleus, there are the ERs, the endoplasmic reticulums. There's a smooth and rough ER. So the rough ER is basically the same thing, but it's coated in ribosomes. So these stars are the ribosomes, and ribosomes aren't only found on the ER, they're also found just all throughout in the cytoplasm. Then this is the central vacuole, which holds the majority of the cell's nutrients. And there are also smaller vacuoles, which are just all around the cell, but this is the main one. This is the mitochondria, which produces the energy. I have a couple of these. These are the leucoplasts, and these are the chloroplasts, which help in the process of photosynthesis. And that is my plant cell model. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Hello, so this is another school project, two school projects really close to each other, but you know, what can I say? So much of school is Lego related. So this one is, I had a project to do a cell model. So Megan made a plant cell and I made an animal cell because we both wanted to build it out of Legos. So I will essentially tell you each organelle, and then I'll tell you its function while I'm at it just for practice. So you can see first I have this label in the background. And then back here we have the plasma membrane. It's surrounding the cell. So it regulates what goes in and out, and it's semi-permeable, which means that some things can go through it, but not everything. So you can see I use these teeth pieces to give it like a half open, half closed look. Then we have these mitochondria. So they're just a classic blue brick with some tiling styles on the top to make it give it a mitochondria feel. And they are the energy factories of the cell, so they convert nutrients into energy. Then we have our digestive experts down here, our lysosomes. So I used a blue, and then I just used the curvy pieces to make it interesting. So they digest everything and break down nutrients. Then we have the Golgi bodies. So I used these pieces. I haven't really used much in builds before, but they gave it a nice feel that when it looks in like the comics of a cell, it gives it that kind of look. And they are like the postal office of the cell. So they find the molecule, package it, and send it to the organelle that needs it. Then we have our centrioles. And yes, I did intend to make them that blocky. They are supposed to have a bunch of 90-degree angles, and they are involved in two very different things. They form flagella and cilia, which help with cell movement, and they are heavily involved in cell asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction in cells. Then we have our ribosomes. Ribosomes, very simple. Just this light blue cylinder scattered about the cell. Cytoplasm is just the red. Then we have our vacuoles, the storage. Basically, they store nutrients, they store things that need to be stored for cells. And they just had a fun look, that green. It gave it a nice contrast. I tried to make all the colors contrast with the cytoplasm, which meant no red, except for here, the nucleolus, because that was inside the nucleus, you could tell. So the nucleus is the region of the cell where the cell's main DNA is stored, and then the nucleolus is found within the nucleus. and it is where ribosomes are assembled and RNA is made. And, oh yeah, smoothie and rough ER. So these are my 2 ERs. I tried to make them look similar in some ways, but different in others because they're both the endoplasmic reticulum. So this is the rough ER. It has ribosomes in it, which means that it's involved in protein synthesis, and it's involved in the transport of complex molecules. And I tried to make it contrasty colors, and then they have some studs showing. Gives it a rough feel. Then we have my smooth ER with the more cleaner, not exactly the same because they didn't have the pieces do the same, but close to the same colors and a nice smooth top. And the smooth ER has no ribosomes, so no protein synthesis, but it does make some lipids, and it also aids in the transport of complex molecules. So that was my cell model project.